The Nikon AF-S 14-24mm f2.8G is the highest performance super wide-angle zoom lens on the market. Introduced over a decade ago on Nikon's high-end lineup, until this day it is regarded as one of the best wide-angle lenses of all time, beat against prime or zoom options among all brands. It got on my kit even though I'm a Canon shooter, and it indeed impressed me paired with the Nikon D800E, and sometimes I regret having sold it to keep maintaining other photographic endeavors. At 98 by 131mm of a kilo of mostly glass and metal, the first thing we notice, and probably the only complaint we have with the AF-S 14-24 f2.8G, is the size. It's one of the largest wide-angle zoom lenses on the market, and also one of the heaviest. While we can't really blame the aperture or focal length, Nikon's or Canon's 14 f2.8 primes are much smaller and lighter. I do bet what happens here is indeed a circle of projection. This lens feels like it renders a super-sized ring to keep the edge's performance intact, and you'll be carrying a lot of glass. For this level of performance, we have to pick our battles. And also, while heavy duty for its plastics and finishing, made as a workhorse for the everyday photographer, it does feel somewhat fragile, so I recommend lots of care when handling for years of operation. The usability is straightforward with two external rings controlling both zooming and focusing, near the camera for a better balance, with both relatively light to the touch. You can really feel the metal tracks inside, guaranteeing its smooth operation. At the rear, the zoom ring goes counterclockwise from 14 to 24mm in a very light 90 degrees movement that sometimes moves by itself from the widest angle. I shot 15-16mm images when I thought it was set at 14, so I recommend double checking the focal length prior to using it. But at the front, the manual focusing ring is precise as shown by the distance window that shows markings in feet and in meters. Inside, Nikon uses its SWM silent wave motor for autofocus that is all internal and silent, also very precise and particularly fast. Here tested on the D800E, I didn't get any autofocus shots, and it's better than other AF-S options. Finally, at the front, the 14-24 f2.8G doesn't accept filters, as the bulging first lens element makes it impossible to avoid flaring, although some third parties do sell adapters for squares. The built-in lens hood offers more protection against impact and flaring resistance that is better handled by the chemical nanocrystal coating. And at the rear, the metal mount feels secure and uses the G lever to operate the aperture. While it does sport a rubber gasket to seal it against dust and water, Nikon doesn't declare any form of weather resistance. It also doesn't support gel filters inside the mount like some other primes. What it does is provide the photographer with a fast way to work with all wide-angle distances in a single lens, all with great optics and autofocus. One of the finest lenses on the Nikon lineup. With an astonishing 14 elements in 11 groups optical formula, 3 aspherical pieces to correct for spherical aberration and enhance corner resolution, 2 extra low dispersion ED lens to enhance clarity, and the nano crystal coat applied to the first element to enhance contrast and reduce flaring. What the AF-S 14-24 f2.8G delivers optically is unmatched, the best wide-angle lens, be it on the zoom or prime markets. It is simply everything we expect from a best-in-class equipment. The highest resolution, wide open or top down, from 14 to 24mm, the best contrast, be it when backlit or with the light position on its sides, and the overall performance in chromatic aberration control, flaring resistance and geometry, all with the best colors possible from a zoom. There is simply nothing to complain. The flexibility is awesome to photograph street photography and interior design, all with one lens, unmatched by other options from Canon and Sony, unmatched by smartphones with wide-angle lenses, unmatched even by Nikon on the prime lineup. The images are pleasing straight out of the camera, with saturated colors and plenty of contrast, perfect to photograph tough subjects around the street for everyday life photography, graphic design, strong edges and straight lines, that are rendered on every single pixel, here tested on the D800E. The files shown here were slightly added despite its high impact images, making it even easier to work with, as expected from the high-end lineup. So overall, this is a highly regarded lens, as the images can easily prove it, and a mandatory lifelong piece for the best photographs. If you have the budget and you're looking for the best lens, this is it. Add it on your kit and nice shoot.